Good morning, everyone. This is Bookless with this Hindu editorial article on 16th March 2019. So, we are going to discuss on this day's articles for your prelims cum means preparation. So, this article is mainly based for both prelims and mains. So, first of all, we are going to discuss about global environmental outlook, which has been published by UNEP, and this is in the prelims perspective of examination. So the sixth edition is being released by UNEP of Global Environmental Outlook. The details can be seen in 15th March newspaper, that is yesterday's. So the report which is published is being saying that the world is unsustainably extracting resources and producing unmanageable quantities of waste. So the resources and waste which is been taken and given to the nature is being done in unsustainably by most of the parts of the world. That is the report, that the crux of the report is being said like that. Another point which is mainly for the prelims also is there, that the theme of this report, that is healthy planet, healthy people, this is also needed. So then going into the article, we can see that the most of the deaths which is we can see due to air pollution is in East and South Asia. So one estimate says that 1.24 million in India in 2017. These many people have been died due to air pollution itself. So the figures is not important for in the exam point of view, but if you can remember, it is a fodder point too. So as India's population grows, it must worry that agriculture yields are coming under stress due to increase in average temperature and erratic monsoons. These two they are the outcomes of climate change too. That is, the average temperature is increasing and the erratic monsoon. Erratic means unfrequent monsoons. So these both are making stress in agriculture, which can lead to farmer suicide too. So moving on, evidently the task before India is to recognize the human cost of purely enforced environment laws. So this point which is being said in the article can be used in many answers, that is enforcing the environment laws. So if it is asking about any other thing, other perspective like children, women and all, you can use enforcing in that case of laws too. Enforcing is a poorly done procedure in India. So enforcing environment laws and demonstrate the political will necessarily to end business as usual policies. So that could mean curbing the use of fossil fuels and toxic chemicals. In this case, we have to use curb these all use of fossil fuels and toxic chemicals, and as you all know that make use of renewables as a much more targeted way. So there are some targeted inventions that also require to reduce air and water pollution, that is aggressive monitoring of air quality, that is being done by the government through scaled up facilities will bring up a consensus on cutting emissions of greenhouse gases. So the another thing which is being said by this article is in the perspective of the rich and the poor versus the environment. That is, the 10% of population globally are responsible for 45% of GHG, and the bottom 50% are only for 13%. So this is the case with socioeconomic poor and the rich versus the economic situation too, that the 10% have the most of the resources in the whole of the world. So they do have the resources, so they are only emitting 45% of GHG in globally. So combating air pollution would therefore require all older coal based power plants in India to conform to emission or to be shut down. You have to make them regulatory or renew them, the power based power plants, that is a coal based, or you need to shut down in favor of the renewable energy sources. Transport emissions are a growing source of urban pollution, and a quick transition to green mobility is needed. Now the next point is about transport. Transport is being transitioned to green mobility, which can be seen in cities like Delhi and Kerala too. So many cities are being transforming in this mode. So in the case of water, the imperative is to stop the contamination of surface supplies by chemicals, sewage and municipal waste. The case of water is the main thing, that is which we take for granted by most of the people, is to stop the contamination of surface supplies by chemical, sewage and municipal waste. As the leader extractor of groundwater, the article is mainly based on the water issue, that is India is a main extractor of groundwater, so it's rapidly depleting too. There are many schemes by government too, which you can look, and we will also cover it post prelims. India needs to make water part of a circular economy in which it is treated as a resource that is recovered, treated and reused. This type of circular economy, that is using water as a recovered, retreated and reused, can be seen in nations like Israel and all. And that is the article is being saying that India also has to transform itself by using water in that sustainable way. But water protection gets low priority. But the present situation is that it gets low priority. State governments show no urgency in augmenting rainwater harvesting. New storage areas act as a supply source when monsoons fail and help manage floods when there is excess rainfall. These new storage areas, that is the rainwater harvesting, can help when the monsoon fails due to erratic monsoons and help manage floods also when there is excess rainfall. That is the case which is being said in parts of India, that is in many parts there is floods and in many parts there is droughts too. These both can be managed by using rainwater harvesting. So that is the crux of the article. We'll move to the next one. So this article is mainly about India-Pakistan relationships, and this is more about just to know about the relationships which you cannot use in exam point of view, but it is better to know it because you can know the society and the economy and the relations between India and Pakistan, which is being now discussed more in newspapers. That's why we will discuss this article. This is based on a book released by Krishna Sopti, and post her death too, she has been died, so condolences for her too. So India-Pakistan conflict can be found in a shared attitude of derision towards the past. Public mood shift between indifference and disdain for the past. So public mood, the people's mood, that gets shifted due to between the indifference and disdain. So there is little genuine interest in the past or curiosity to figure it out. People just need what they want now. They do not most of them do not need to know what is the past about it. If you know the past, you can know the present and you can prepare for the future too. So the politicians feel free and tempted to use the past to manipulate the collective mind. So politicians today, they feel free because the public, most of the public don't know the difference. They do not know about the past and all, so they are manipulated by the politicians, and they tend to renew or sorry they also create, they do have the role in making hatred among the people. This is me saying by the writer. When SARC was established in 1985, it created hope that mutual understanding would be pursued as a regional political goal. So for all 7 members, but especially India, Pakistan and Bangladesh, mutual understanding would have meant recognizing the importance of accepting portraits of the past. That means relating with the past and for mutual understanding in the future. The SARC would have played this role, is said by the writer. Such portraits exist in literature, but historical awareness requires more than literary portraits. So these are being mainly made by text and all, but history is more than what it sees or is not. Reliable resources to validate a view about what happened so that we feel more comfortable with where we are in the present. So the main thing which is being said, another thing is that In a study of history textbooks, India and Pakistan, the writer is comparing both of them, which is one perspective may be true too. That he found in Pakistan that partition is represented as unfinished business, while in India it is still viewed as a wound inflicted by Muslims and British. So he's not saying about whole of them, but some did had the role of making this inflicted. So, he's saying that the main issue of India and Pakistan, they have not yet come out of this mode of transition. They are still in that divide of transition. So that is being said by the writer. So in both nations, partition continues to serve as an inflammable memory account. That is being the inference from the passage. The toll it took on the two nations has not sufficed to cool the coals buried under the ashes of time. So that's a point which is being said. Apart from the destruction and violence suffered by common men, women and children, apart from these destruction and violence, there is post-partition suspension of recent cost, that is due to the life of its greatest leader. That is, it is being mentioned that post-partition has affected in India greater, that is the loss of our greatest leader, that is Mahatma Gandhi. It is true that politics is a game played. The crux of this article, it can be used in writing answers in relating politics with any spheres. In many spheres, not in any. So it is true that politics is a game played in the shadow of history. So politics is being done in the shadow of history. Politicians manipulate even the history too, according to their wills. However, if it is dominated by history, then democracy can hardly serve the cause of progress, howsoever defined. So if it is dominated by history, then democracy will be a sham. It will be not to its fulfillment. It will always remain stuck in history. So it has been said by the writer. So there is another article too, which is about ground zero, which is published in Saturday, based mainly on caste society. It is which it is saying about one band in Tamil Nadu, that about creating a casteless band which has multiple castes. Ground zero is usually is not prepared for problems because it's basically on facts, but that point, which is that the minglination of different castes, the homogenization of the different sects of the society into one economic sphere or the social sphere, can resolve the issue of casteism too. It is that can be inferred from that passage. So that is only I have shared with you. So these are all the articles of today, and thank you very much for the discussion.